Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jada, aka Mrs. Moon Heaven. Follow me on all socials, yada yada yada, at Mrs. Moon Heaven. Okay, today, this is the first of the installment of quick Christmas gifts, especially because we are, check some imaginary watch, coming down to the final line of making Christmas gifts. I wanted to give you some ideas to make some quick Christmas gifts, or you know what, even if it's not, I'm making this in the year of 2023. Maybe you're watching this in the year 2024, 2025, 2026, and you're starting early. Well, it's still not a bad idea to make quick Christmas gifts for your family, your loved ones, your friends, whatever, whomsoever. Make sure they're your loved ones. Make sure they are people that deserve it, first of all. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'm not going to tell you to do whatever you want. But if you're making a lot of Christmas gifts, you want to manage your time good. And now I'm not the authority of time management. In fact, you should probably not listen to me most of the time. But this time listen to me because I am limiting my projects to somewhere between 1 to 4 hours. So that way I can make as many for whoever is longing to have a handmade item. And that way it's pretty much in a budget if you time your hourly rate, but then also gives you enough time to make all these gifts for people. Okay? You get it? You get what I'm saying? Okay, now on to it.
Have you ever had this happen to you?
Oh, I wish I had my own website to show off and sell my crochet stuff, but I don't know where to start.
Well, you're in luck because today's sponsor for this video is Universe. Universe is a drag and drop website building app that allows you to grab a custom.com domain, hyper customize the site, sell your creations, send email blasts and more, all from your iPhone, iPad, or computer. They make it really easy because they have a bunch of templates you could start off with, but if you have an idea of your own, you could also use a blank canvas. Personally, I want a way to showcase a lot of my designs that aren't necessarily an e-commerce site. One day I'd really love to get into costuming for TV and movies and even styling. So I want a place where I can show off a lot of the things that I've made. You can also chat with the AI assistant Gus to help you get started. I'm personally not that great at writing blurbs, so I'm using the AI assistant to help me get started, and then I'm just going to tweak it from there. If you're looking to sell your crochet makes or anything else, the Universe Sell Blocks will help you sell your creations and start making money in minutes. Looking to sell crochet and knit patterns? You can use the download block as well. Universe is free, but you can make the jump to pro to get your own .com custom domain, unlock custom menu styles, remove any Universe branding, gain access to the code block, and get ability to make discount codes. You can use the first link in my YouTube description to get 25% off your first year of Universe Pro, or use code JADA25, or use the second code to try Universe for free.
This is what my portfolio website looks like so far on my desktop. I edited the whole thing on my phone, so I know it looks great both on the mobile and desktop pages. This isn't a super urgent project of mine to finish, and truly, since I'm always creating, it will be a never-ending one, so it's super convenient that I could edit on the app on my phone. I'll probably just keep adding in my spare time, maybe waiting around on the train or on the couch, whatever. The link for my new portfolio will be in the description below, so you can check it out now and during all my updates.
Thank you, Universe, so much for sponsoring this video. I hope you guys check them out because it's a really cool way to just I don't know, show off your stuff, go have some fun, make a website. And now back to the tutorial. Today we are making a chunky scarf. This is great because 1, cold, everyone loves scarves. 2, works up really, really fast. I made this so it works up really fast. 3, because it's chunky, it provides a lot of warmth for the user. 4, it's fast. Oh, and it's beginner friendly. It's beginner friendly. And 5, I'm making it with acrylic yarn, so that way when you give it to the person that is owning the scarf, it's easy for them to take care of. Sometimes I want to make gifts for people with a nice wool or something like that, but sometimes it's a little difficult to give people gifts that require a lot of care, and you don't want to put that on them if they're not somebody who would, really hand wash their clothes and all that, and air dry. If they're not somebody who maybe would want to go through the hassle of all that, acrylic is a really good way to go. So I do have to say that this is Red Heart Super Saver yarn. These were gifted to me. However, this is not a sponsored post. I am saying this because this is what I actually think, and I've been making a lot of gifts with these, so I'm really lucky to have been gifted this. However, it's also a really affordable yarn, so I really do like these for the holidays because you can stay within budget. A lot of the times when you're making handmade gifts, it's part of a way to save money for the holiday season because they could be really expensive and stressful with money and all that. But when you have a good affordable yarn, it helps you stay within budget. You know what I'm saying? Also, like I said before, acrylic, easy to take care of. These get softer with wear. I have a scarf by the people from Red Heart that was also made with one of their patterns that I wear all the time now, and I love that scarf. So I know that making a scarf with this would also be a great idea. materials. Enough with the chatter. Okay, materials. So the one that I made right here, the one that I showed you with the green yarn, I made it with 2 ombres and 1 brushed, but I had a lot of leftover of the ombre. So this time around, I'm not using 2 ombres. I would, but I don't have to. So I'm using 1 solid, 1 ombre. The solid has a little bit less than the ombre, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. I had a lot left over. So 2 skeins of this, 1 skein of the brush. If you're making it as long as I made the green one, you will. This is enough for the inside of the scarf, and I did have to switch to 3 strands of the ombre at the end, so I did have to make a separate ball just so it wasn't getting all tangled. You will be using 3 strands. That is how we are going to make it bulky and work up fast. You're going to use 3 strands at once. I find it easiest to use 3 different skeins, especially because you'll need basically this much. But like I said, at the end, if you run out of, when you run out of the brushed, if you are doing it as long and thick as mine, you will have to make a ball out of one of these, so that way it's just easy to work with. Then you're going to need a 12mm hook. I'm using a Clover & More 12mm hook. Love these guys. Some scissors for when you need to cut it. You can use a measuring tape if you would like. You can either eyeball it, or what I did is I used a scarf of mine that I really liked the length of and the thickness of, and I compared it to that. You can customize this however you want, whatever you think the person who is using this, or if you're making this for yourself, however thick and long you want it to be. I love a long blanket scarf. And if I'm not mistaken, I did this in like 2 to 3 hours. So yeah, I might make this one a little bit shorter though. All right, sorry, are you mad that I had a long intro? If you are, you know that you could skip. You know that you can skip ahead, right? We're gonna get started. Okay, so what you're gonna want to do is get your 3 strands out and about. I am a center puller, so let's find the center. Oh, this is not gonna be good. Oh, no, not bad. Okay. This one already has a center out, thank you. And this one doesn't have a center out. Ugh. But this one's a lot easier to pull out of. Also, I will say I really like the brushed. It's really soft, and I will have another tutorial coming out on how to make a raglan with just 1 strand of the brushed, but with an 8mm hook. And it looks really good because of the brushed effect that it has. 1, you don't have to brush it yourself. 2, it's kind of like a dupe for mohair, so that way like you don't give it mohair to somebody that like maybe won't or can't take care of it. And 3, like the brush effect like fills in all those gaps, so you can use like a bigger hook, so that way it goes faster. Anyway, sorry. I know I said enough of the chit chat, but you know what? This is my tutorial, and this is how I run it over here. I have chapters if you need to skip around, okay? So speaking of chapters, this is going to be the intro section on how to do each thing. If you already know all this, you can skip ahead to the actual start of the tutorial, but this is just for beginners who don't know how to do this and would like me to explain. So the first thing you're going to need to know is a chain. I'm not going to explain that to you. You should know a chain. Sorry, if you don't know a chain, you go check a tutorial and then you can find that out. So there's 2 things that you can do. I'm going to show the foundation double crochet, but if you don't want to do a foundation double crochet, that's fine. I would recommend going into the back bumps of the chain, because we're going to go around the scarf again. So this is just going to make it easier to find those spots and also not leave like a gaping hole from when you go into the regular chain. And by doing that, you go into these back bumps over here. So this is the front. You see the pleated braid. Turn it around. You see these bumps. You go into that. So when I say back bumps, this is what I'm talking about. You might have to finagle with it a little bit, but that's what I mean when I say go into the back bumps. This is going to be with double crochets and a stacked single crochet, which is going to count as your first double crochet. The reason for this is that makes a straight edge a lot cleaner of an edge on the side, which is important for a scarf, but also I like to do this for all my double crochet projects. So to do that, you're going to do 2 single crochets on top of each other. So I'm going to go into this back bump and show you. So insert your hook, pull up a loop. So you're going to yarn over, pull up a loop so that you have 2 on your hook. Yarn over again, pull through 2. That's a single crochet. And then to stack it, you're going to go into, there's like a V right here from the single crochet.
you're going to go into the one further from the hook. So go into that, like so. And you're going to do another single crochet on top. So yarn over, pull up a loop. You'll have 2 on your hook again. Yarn over, pull through 2. And that's going to be your stacked single crochet. That's going to count as your first double crochet. And to double crochet, you are going to yarn over, like so. So put your hook under, yarn over. Get it? Yarn over. You're going to go into the stitch or the back bump, and you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop so that there will be 3 on your hook. 1, 2, 3. Yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. And that's how you do a double crochet. Now I'm going to show you how to do a foundation double crochet. This is how I start my project. If you don't want to do this, you can chain as many as you would like and then just go into the chains with double crochet, or a stack single crochet then double crochet. But this is how I'm going to do it. I like doing the foundation rows like this now. I used to like knots, and I was like, I simply don't want to learn how to do this. And then one day I grew up and I learned how to do it, and it wasn't that bad. Not saying you're not a grown-up if you don't want to do it. Do whatever you want. But I was being dramatic. I needed to grow up. Okay? So to do a foundation double crochet, you're going to start with a slip knot and then chain 2. Then you're going to go into this back bump again, similar to going to the back bump of the chain when you start your foundation row. So this is the front. You see the pleats like it's a braid, and then here's that bump on the back. You're going to yarn over as you would with a regular double crochet, insert your hook into this back bump, yarn over and pull up a loop. You're going to have 3 on your hook. I know it's here, there you go, because it's 3 strands, so bear with me. Then you're going to yarn over. You're not going to pull through 2 yet. You're going to yarn over and just pull through 1. This is going to make a chain. It acts as a chain, so that way you are building this way to actually make the length of the row. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through 2 as you will with a double crochet, yarn over, pull through 2 again. And that's your second double crochet. So this is the only time you're going to have a chain 2 that's going to count as a double crochet. Every other time I'm going to do a stack single crochet, but for the foundation row, start with 2. To continue, you are going to yarn over, and do you see this right here? Do you see how it's kind of like the bottom side of a chain if you were to go into the back bumps? These 2 stitches right here, you're going to go into there. So you want to make sure that you're going through 2. These 2 loops. So yarn over, insert your hook into that section. Oops. Yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 3 on your hook. Now we're going to make the chain and then do the double crochet. So don't forget that part. Otherwise, you're going to increase. It's going to be 2 double crochet in 1 stitch. You don't want that. So yarn over, pull through 1. See how it's going? It's getting taller this way. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull through 2. And that's the whole pattern for doing the foundation double crochet row. So insert your hook into these 2, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Ta-da! Okay, now going to the actual tutorial of the scarf. So hello, we're going to start the scarf now. For real, okay? So we're going to start with a slip knot. And I'm going to do a foundation double crochet row. If you don't want to do this, that is fine. I would recommend doing a chain as long as you want the scarf and then going to the back bumps. So we're going to start with a chain 2. I'm going to go into this back bump right here. Yarn over, go into this back bump, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. I have 2 double crochet now, including this first chain 2. If you want a slower version of this, just go back to the section where I explain how to do all the little stitches you need to know. So I'm going to go into the bottom side of the stitch right here. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2.
And I'm just going to continue doing this foundation double crochet until I have the desired length of the scarf that I want. That's why I also like doing a foundation double crochet over doing a chain first. It's because it gives you the actual length of what it's going to be, or width, whatever project you're doing. With a chain, it's pretty accurate, but you know, sometimes you can like, this chain stretches out a little bit. With the foundation double crochet and all the other stitches, it shows you what it's actually going to be with that stretch already. So you can do it based on either eyeballing it. Make sure that it's long enough to wrap around your neck though. Remember that that's going to add some additional length. Or check on one of your favorite scarves or a scarf that you really like the length of and make it that long. So I'm going to keep doing this until I have a desired length that I want. I'll tell you how many stitches I'm doing. But I'm going to make it pretty long. Probably not as long as the last one, but fairly long. You know, you don't want to make something too chunky and then not long enough. I feel like the proportions would be all weird. When you're doing the length, keep in mind that we're going to add a double crochet row to each side of both ends and fringe. So it's going to be a little bit longer than what you're making it. The beginning part of like doing 3 strands is going to be kind of annoying. Make sure that when you're doing it 2, you're not pulling through only some of those 3 strands, and that you're always using all 3 of the strands. It's a little, you know, some people don't like working with multiple strands. I don't mind it. There are some obstacles that you have to go over in order to do it, but it's not that big of a deal. Plus, I think it's worth it to do a chunky quick project. You can tell me how you feel about this. You could, of course, do this with yarn that's already chunky. And you could, of course, even do this with a smaller size hook. This is just kind of what I am suggesting if you want it nice and fast. But I'm sure you could do this with, like, chunky yarn and an 8mm hook. Actually, I know you could do this. I'm pretty sure. See, look, I didn't go through all 3 strands right here. I'm pretty sure you can. Oh, maybe I did. It just looked funny. You can do this with like worsted weight or even smaller, but just keep in mind that's not going to be as fast, obviously, as using a 12mm hook and like super bulky yarn. Anyway, enough chit chat. I'll see you back here when I finish my foundation row. You go finish your foundation row too. Doesn't this look so pretty? I picked really good colors for this. I wasn't sure what I was going to use. This is gorgeous. Really like that together. If anybody cares, the colors are Orchid for this regular Red Heart Super Saver. For the ombre, it's just purple. And for the brush, it is Dusty Pink. Alright, so I just finished the length of my scarf. I made it significantly longer. Nope. I made it significantly shorter than my last one, but it is still, I think, literally exactly my height doubled. Yep, here it is, height reveal on camera. I know I like to pretend I'm tall, but I'm only approximately like 63 inches, but when I fold it in half and hold it out, my wingspan wise, it's like double that. So it's about like, what, 126 inches, so like 10 feet long, which is like kind of crazy. But the way that I did it, remember that we're adding fringe at the end, so there's going to be a little more length. But after it got to a certain length, I wrapped it around my neck as if it was like on like a scarf, and then I just kept going from there. Again, why I like to do the foundation, because then I could see, like, I could literally put it on and pretend that it's already a scarf and see how long it can go for. So now all we're going to do is we're going to keep building up with double crochet until it is 2 double crochet rows less than what you want the desired width to be. And to really make sure that it's the right length, I would measure how tall one of your double crochet rows is, so that you know
exactly how tall 2 of your double crochet rows would be.
You should have a tape measure, I guess, but like you don't need one. I lost my tape measure. Okay, so it's 1.5 inches, which means 2 rows of this would be 3 inches. So if I wanted my scarf to be 9 inches, I would stop when it's like 6 inches wide, which would be only 4 rows of double crochet. You see what I'm saying? Math. But you can also eyeball this if you want. You know, you don't need to use a tape measure. All right, so
to do the double crochet rows, very, very easy. You're going to start off with that stack single crochet that I showed you in the beginning. So turn your work, don't chain one. So you finish your last double crochet, just turn. Insert your hook into the first stitch and do a single crochet. And then stack it by going into this loop right here and doing another single crochet. That's your stack single crochet. That's going to count as your first double crochet. And then you're just going to double crochet all the way down the row in every stitch. The only difference for the second row is that the very last stitch is going to be that chain 2, but for every other row, you're just going to go into the top of the stack single crochet. So I'll show you how to do both of those. I'll meet you back here at the end of the row because this is going to take a little bit of time. I'm also timing how long this one's taking me. I think the foundation takes the longest, and making the fringe, that took me about like a half an hour, give or take, because, you know, I did the first few stitches with you. I clocked it as 33 minutes. So yeah, just go down the row. I'll show you how to go into the top of the chain 2 at the end of this round, and then we'll start the third round together, and I'll show you how to end at the top of the stack single crochet. Alright, so we're coming up to the last stitches of the row. Now this only took me like 12 minutes, and I don't say that to brag. Go at your own pace. It's not a race, except for you got to do this by Christmas. But I say, because I am a fast crocheter, so don't like compare. I'm only saying that like in the sense that it took me a third of the time that it took me to do the entire foundation row. So it goes really fast from here on out. So we're on this third to last stitch. So you see the 2 stitches right here, and then the chain right here. So 1, 2. Love this ombre. I love the dark of the ombre. It's looking so cute. And then we're going to place the last stitch right here. All right. Then we're going to turn our work once again. And start with the stack single crochet like we did before. And then double crochet all the way down once again. And going into the very last stitch, which is going to be the stack single crochet, is pretty self-explanatory, but you know, just in case, because I am welcoming in all levels of crocheters, I'll show you where it is, but it's right here. But I'll come back to you at the end of this round, just to show you, just in case. So I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'll meet you back once again. Last stitch of this row. Again, row took me like 10 minutes, so breezing through this. This is the stitch right here. Top of the second single crochet on top of like the stack. Just gonna double crochet into there, and you can see how nicely it creates this edge. Usually when you do a chain 2, I feel like it gets all wobbly on the edges, and then also when you put the last stitch in there, I feel like it stretches out the chain a lot. You can't really see it in the first chain that I did as much because I actually made that a little too tight, but it ended up working up so there's not this like gaping hole right here. But that's why I like the stack single crochet. Anyway, so I'm just gonna keep going. One more row would be enough to make a 9-inch thick scarf. So I think I'm gonna do that. So I'm gonna do one more row before I get to the next section, which is going to be the border all the way around. So keep going until you get to the desired width that you want, -2 double crochet rows. Okay, so I got to the end of my 4th row, and now I'm going to start doing the border. Well, I have to do the last stitch. Second to last. Well, I'm going to stop right here because I'm actually going to cut off the brushed yarn. There's not enough of this to keep going around. So what I'm going to do is I do a entire border with just the regular acrylic yarn. And as I kind of stated before, we're going to have to ball some of this up or cake some of this up
because we obviously need a third strand to replace this. So I'm just gonna cut this long enough that it'll make weaving in easier at the end. And some yarns you can pull from the outside and the inside. Unfortunately, this is not one of those. I tried it last time and it just didn't work. I'm gonna make a ball out of this by I can use a cake winder, but I'm gonna go from here. So that way it's just easier to make a ball out of it. So this yarn is still being attached to the scarf. But I'm going to do about half of this because, as you can see, it goes fast. Like, it eats up yarn real fast. Like, it's only 4 rows, but, like, I'm pretty much done with the brushed acrylic. So I'll come back to you in a moment once I ball up about half of this skein. Alright, so I made a ball with this. So I'm also pulling from the center, so that's going to make it easier. I might have to yank it a little bit to give it some slack. And I'm going to use the new strand to finish this double crochet. So I'm going to leave the one that I just cut off out. Grab the new one and line it up with the 2 active strands, making sure that I'm leaving enough of a tail so I can weave it in later. That's good. And I'm going to finish my double crochet. So I have 2 more left on my hook, and I'm going to pull through. Now we're going to turn to work on this side of the scarf, the end of the scarf. So I'm going to start my stacked single crochet onto the side of the double crochet. So I'm going to refer to 2 things that are part of the double crochet, the post and the base. The post is going to be along the long part of the double crochet, and the base is going to be where it's coming from, so this hole right here. So I'm going to do a stacked single crochet into this post of the double crochet on the side. So single crochet. Oops, I accidentally did the tail of this. Whatever, I'll just leave it off to the side. The tail, okay. Make sure you don't grab that tail. Okay, so I'm going to do a single crochet onto the post of this double crochet right here. So regular single crochet, and then the stack. Okay, and now I'm going to go into the base. And you're going to do this for every double crochet that you have. You should have 2 stitches per double crochet. So once again, the stacked single crochet is going to be a little more difficult because it's not as like, it's a little more chunky than an actual double crochet. So I like to go through this like random stitch. You can go over the entire thing, but I like to go through like right in the center of both of the single crochets that we make. So I'm going to do that. Double crochet. And then 1 more into the base, which is right here. Into the post. Then into the base. Into the post. And then this is the last base. So this is going to be the corner stitch. So we're going to double crochet in the corner, chain 1. Double crochet into the corner, and then we're going to turn our work 90 degrees. And now we're going to do the same thing that we just did at the first corner right here. Don't chain 1. Start by doing a stacked single crochet into the post of the last double crochet you just made, and then into the base. From here now you could just go do your double crochets as normal. This is why I like you to do a foundation double crochet or double crocheting into the back bumps, because you could see how easy it is to go into these stitches right here from our foundation row. You can also start to go over the tail end so that you have less to weave in later. Like so. And you're just going to do this all the way down. I'll meet you at the opposite corner, but we're basically going to do the same thing that we just did for the first few corners. But yeah, just double crochet all the way down this row. This is why I said you want to make it 2 rows less wide than you want it to be in the final pattern, because we're doing this border all the way around. So unfortunately, my ball was not big enough because, but whatever, whatever. So we're getting to this other corner again. And we're going to do the same thing that we did before, where we go into the post of the double crochet and do our stack single crochet into the base, into the post, into the base. It's a lot of yarn and fabric we're working with right now. So excuse me if it's a little what's the word I'm looking for? Cluttered. So into the post and the base again. Post, base, post, one more into the base, and then that's the next corner. So we're going to turn 90 degrees, stack single crochet into the post of the last double crochet, once into the base. However, I think I'm not out of yarn yet. Into the base, and then start going down the last row that you were doing when you were going up. So mine is the 4th row. So it's gonna go all the way down. And when you get to the end, you'll come back over here because I'll show you how we're going to end the round. And then that's going to be it for the crocheting part. And then we're going to start doing the fringe, which is probably the longest part. So I'm like clocked in at like an hour and a half right now, which is pretty cool. The fringe takes the longest time because you have to like cut a bunch of stuff. Then again, the last time I was doing it, I was like lying on the couch. I'm sure it'll be a lot easier if I just sit here and cut it up than trying to measure it all out on the couch. But yeah, so I'll meet you back here. Also, I forgot to, actually it doesn't look that bad on camera. I am full of scratches because of my cat. I have a 6-month-old kitten who needs her nails desperately cut. That's a 2-person job. But my partner's been sick, so I need a helping hand to, you know, cut her nails. But literally anytime she grabs my hands, there's scratches. So if you were wondering about that, all the cuts on my hands, it's from her. But yeah, so I'll meet you back here at the end. Alright, so I'm coming down to the last couple of stitches. So I'm going to go into this stitch right here. And then to make it even with the other side, just like how we go into the side and then into the top again, we're going to put our last stitch, instead of on the post, we're going to do it into the top of this stitch right here where we first started that round. And that's the end of the scarf part. So we're going to start making the tassels. For the very first tassel, I count this when we cut it off for chain 1. For the very first tassel, I count this when we chain 1 and cut it off. So I'm going to make sure it's nice, and I'll decide later on if I want to count this as a tassel or not, but just in case I do, I'm going to just cut it off a little bit long. Okay, and then pull through. So you chain 1 and then pull through, so that way it locks that stitch on. And we're going to put this to the side for now. We're going to start making our tassels. So I'm going to show you what to do first, because this takes a little bit of time and then you're just going to put them on. But I'm going to show you how to put them on and everything. So I like to make my tassels about 6 inches long, so you're going to want to double that. So whatever length you want to have the tassels be long, double that, and then add an inch or so just in case, because we're going to trim it at the end to make it look nice and even. So I like to have my tassels have a little bit of depth, so I like to do a few of the different shades of the purple. That's not necessary, but if I wanted to, I would have like a darker purple, a medium purple, and a light purple. As you can see, I have a bit of a yarn mess right now. The one thing about Red Heart I will say is that when you pull from the center, it does go like this. Just in the very center. You can easily, oh, maybe with a little bit of effort, untangle this. I have done that. It's not a big deal, but I don't feel like doing that right now, so I'll just deal with this and then find an end somewhere. So I have this end and I have this end. Okay.
I want the darker purple. Yeah. And I like to have like one strand to be the measuring strand, I guess you can call it. So at first you're gonna have to measure, but then keep one out. So about like 12 inches. It doesn't have to be perfect because again, we're gonna trim it at the end. So something like this. It's probably a little over 12 inches. So what I mean by measuring strand is I keep one of these out and I use that to measure. So you're gonna want to also have these in groups of 3 to make them nice and thick. So I'm using this strand right here to measure, and then I'll cut. So you're gonna have to make as many of these in groups of 3 as you do stitches on the end of your scarf. So here I would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If I count the post, 11, 12. So I'm going to want 12 sets for each side, so 24 sets in total. So the cutting takes a little bit of time, but I will just show you how to do one. So you're going to want to fold your tassels in half like this. Take your crochet hook and insert it into the stitch you're going to put it in. At the halfway mark, pull that through the stitch. Make sure you're holding these ends. And you're going to use your hook to pull these ends through the loop you just made. And tighten it. And that's your first set of tassels. So you're going to do that over and over again until you get to the very end. So I'll show you one more time just for safekeeping. And then I trust you to go off on your own and do these over and over again. It's going to take a little bit of time. Okay. So making sure it's all lined up. Nice and even. Insert your hook into the stitch with your yarn folded in half. You're going to put that on your hook and pull it through the stitch, making a chain. And then use your hook to pull the ends through the chain that you just made. And then tighten. There you go. Alright, so do that over and over again, and I'll meet you at the end, and then we'll clean it all up and then weave in the ends and we're done. So I did just want to show you for a second how I'm organizing all this. So I just cut up a bunch in each color. I tried to do the exact amount. I think I did a little more in this one. I can just grab one of each color. And then start like lining them up like that. And then putting them on. As I suspected, this was a lot easier than me doing it just like on the couch, a few at a time. Just sitting here and cutting these all up first and then putting them all on is a lot easier and faster than if you were just like kind of eyeballing it, sitting on the couch, putting them on as you go. This is a lot more efficient. So I'm going to put these all on right now. I also did want to say that make sure you're putting on the fringe all on the same side. I started from right to left. You could actually tell there's like a slight difference. Like this right here is the back side of the knot and this right here is the front side of the knot. So if you're putting it on different ways, it's like, it's very small, it's a detail, but you just want to make sure that, you know, if you're making something, you want to make it as nice as can be. So here you go. So that's the front side of the knot. You see what I'm saying? Like, geez, like what is wrong with me? Okay, I'm going to reenact what I just did, and then I'm going to put the actual audio on for you. I can't believe I just did it. Okay, pretend the strings are still attached. Because I can't reenact. I did both sides and I yapped for you. I yapped and yapped and yapped. Here, okay, this is me running it back and pretending that I recorded this.
So you're going to straighten out all of the strands. You can use a comb if you want. I just used my fingers, and I actually decided to not use this little scissor, to use a big scissor instead, a fabric scissor, because it's easier to cut. I did it about 6 inches long. You can use a measuring tape if you want, or you can just eyeball it, and slowly you're just going to cut across as straight of a line as you want. You can go back and clean it up if you want as well. I do want to also say that the outer fringes, I did put double the amount so that I could put the unweaved ends through that fringe, and also just, I don't know, it kind of framed it really nicely. That's it. You don't need the whole long explanation. You just cut straight across, clean up the fringe. That's it.
So yeah, so I'm gonna try this on, and I won't lie to you. I'm not gonna do it right now. I'm gonna do it tomorrow. But that's movie magic. That's showbiz, baby. That's showbiz. You're gonna see it in a few seconds. I'm gonna wait till tomorrow to put this on. Because I don't want to do it right now. It's cold outside. It's cold, and I don't want to go outside at all today. But I'm gonna show it to you there. I'm gonna show it to you tomorrow because I have to leave the house anyway. So I'll show it to you. Gorgeous. This is such a nice purple. Look at all this scarf. Look at all this scarf. God, I have to check when I'm recording because I almost did that another time earlier, but it was only like a 50-second clip, so I just redid it. And this 10-minute clip. 10-minute clip. Ugh. Yeah, but look at all this. Gorgeous. All right. I'm going to try this on. Will it be today? Will it be tomorrow? You won't know. You won't know. All right, here it is completely on. Isn't it cute? It's keeping me warm because it's pretty cold outside. Also, I lied. This is just as long as the last one. I thought it wasn't, but it's really long, which is nice. I mean, my mom's a little taller than me, but like, it's nice because you could wrap this like around your head if you wanted to, like this. Get a little hood going on over here, you know, just like nice and thick. Wrap it around twice. Still long, still gorgeous, still beautiful. Yeah, really, really a great project for the winter, either for you know, Christmas, yourself. Yeah, it's cold out here, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. Tag me if you make this for yourself, for anybody else. And, you know, if you like it, if this was helpful, give it a like, you know, I don't know, comment something nice below. And, you know, while you're at it, check out my socials, check out my Patreon. If you're able to, Patreon's a great way to support me every month. You know, I'm really into making YouTube videos now. Yeah, I make YouTube videos now. Yep, that's right. This is a thing that I do now. I know that I was saying all year that I was going to start making YouTube videos more consistently. Guess what? This is the first time that I did do it consistently because this is my third video in like, I don't know, every 2 weeks. That's crazy. I'm not promising a schedule. I will never promise a schedule. I can't work on a schedule. It's coming out pretty often. Tutorials, vlogs, I don't know, you name it. And if you're on Patreon, you get some perks. There's exclusive content on there. I'm going to post more exclusive content on there. It's coming the next year once I have more time when it's not the holiday season because the holiday season is freaking crazy. You get 24 hours access, 24 hours early access to these videos, and Discord. You know, if you have $1 to $15 every month, you know, you could always change it. You could always do it 1 month. So, you know, consider supporting me on there. And with that, I'm gonna say thank you, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Yeah.